Hey everybody, this is Brandon Scott, and welcome to the Fandom Pastor. If you've been here before, welcome back. If this is your first time, glad you could join us. So first of all, do me a favor if you would and share this out. The Fandom Pastor is all about looking at the wonderful fandoms that we have out there and how they connect to God, and how you can really look for God in everything. So if you don't know, we're in the middle of a series on cult films, cult movies. These are what they also refer to as cult classics. These are those films that are either ironically enjoyed, definitely were not popular when they were first released, but there is such a deep following from the fans that there is a significant passion for the films and what they all have to say. So, if you didn't get our clue from last time, our clue was this was the final theatrical movie directed by this incredibly famous puppet master. If you did not get it, the incredibly famous puppet master was Jim Henson, and the film is Labyrinth. So I put a link down below for the trailer. So if you want to check that out. So this is just a wonderful film. I loved it when I was younger. I raised my kids on it. It's just a great, great film. Really enjoyable. David Bowie was starred as Jareth, the Goblin King. He did an amazing job. So this movie is just very basically 16-year-old Sarah is given 13 hours to solve a labyrinth because she had made a wish that her little brother Toby would be taken away by the goblins. And if she doesn't rescue him in time, he'll turn into one of the goblins himself. So, um, what's interesting is, well, first of all, I'm going to share a couple little, or I'm going to share a little bit of trivia for you. In the movie where Jareth is the Goblin King, played again by David Bowie, is juggling. It's in a number of different scenes. What's really fascinating is this was not CGI. This was not special effects. There was actually a professional juggler standing behind David Bowie and sticking his arms through his costume and juggling. Now, this was not done with a video or anything. The guy was juggling completely blind. I can't even imagine trying to juggle the way he was doing it while being able to see, much less completely blind. In fact, I've linked a video also below of him, of you seeing that and how he's setting it up and all the work he does. It's pretty amazing. It really is. So this story is about Sarah growing up. She doesn't want to grow up. She wants to still be a kid. She wants to retain her childhood, and she's being forced to grow up, and she doesn't want to. She has to take care of her little brother. Her stepmom, she feels like doesn't have any inkling of what she wants, and so it's a very understandable mentality, I think. The thing is, within Christianity, we have a lot of people who don't want to grow up either. And I'm not talking about growing up as in into adults. I mean, they don't want to grow in their faith. And that's kind of what we're talking about here. I retain your childlike wonder and enjoyment of life. I mean, obviously, I'm doing a whole web channel on things of your fandom. I love comic books. I love Legos. I love all that stuff. So I'm not going to be one to say, well, you need to grow up. I don't care. That's not my issue. The issue is where we have people not growing in their faith. 1 Corinthians 13:11 says that doesn't mean that we can't use some of those elements of our childhood, but those are just like starting points. Uh, and those can actually continue to carry you through and help you through the whole thing. Again, I started out, loving comic books and toys and all those different things. I'm now a pastor and I've grown in my faith, but now I'm coming back and using those elements that I grew up with to share the gospel and working it in different ways. I did youth ministry for a number of years, and that was part of what I would do is I would bring those elements from my childhood, and also understanding that this is where people are starting from. Their understanding of the gospel, of scripture, all of that is coming from a more childlike perspective than I have as well. I love the fact that if you watch the movie Labyrinth, that the inspiration for Sarah's journey in the labyrinth is all throughout her room at the very beginning. There's a picture of David Bowie on her mirror. There is a doll that looks like Hoggle on her in her room. Sir Didymus is there. Um, Ludo, her dress that she wears in the ballroom scene. All these, in fact, even the final scene, the MC Escherish stairway and things like that. There's even a picture of that in her room, drawn by the famous artist MC Escher. All these elements are there, so it's at the beginning, it's in the story, and then at the very end, all of those characters come back, and it's showing this progression that we still need our childhood. Still need those elements, but we need to expand them. We need to grow them. We need to grow so that we can not only grow ourselves, but help those others who are growing in their faith, understand themselves to better understand how they need to grow as well. It's a process for us helping each other out. And I really encourage you all to really consider that. What does it mean? And why is it so important for us to grow? Uh, where are you at? If you have questions about it, let me know. I'm happy to talk to people and to share some different ideas that maybe you need, and maybe we can grow together. So, I think that's kind of where I'm at for right now. So, here is our clue for next week. This is a movie I actually have not watched yet. It was a suggestion by a friend. I will be watching it. It's one of those movies that you put on your list that you've heard of, and you're like, well, it's kind of a unusual one. I probably should watch it because I always love the more obscure, kind of weirder cult films. And so I'm glad that this suggestion was made for me, but I have not watched it yet. But here's my clue for next week, or next time. This film is about one of the most unusual love stories ever. So, see if you can figure it out, and I'll see you all next time. Thanks, God bless, and have a great day.